Hello everyone, welcome to AKS IAS main Shikshna free initiative. This is Santosh Koka. Today we will discuss one question regarding our subject disaster management. Very important question. Question for 30th August 2024. Examine the role of the Sendai framework for disaster risk reduction in shaping India's disaster management policies. How has India progressed in achieving the framework's targets? Very important question. This topic is Sendai framework, right? So 3 steps before writing answer, we are regularly using this particular strategy, right? First thing is question reading. Within 1 minute, we need to identify different question tags and keywords here. What is the topic here? Sendai framework for disaster risk reduction is main topic. And also, how many parts are there? First part is role of this particular framework in shaping India's disaster management policies. And also, second part is how has India progressed in achieving the framework's targets, right? Here, next important thing is question tags. Examine is very important question tag. Here, we need to consider already examiner knows something regarding our particular topic. We need to give some unique information, including our examples or facts or regarding reports, etc. Right? So that is the meaning of examine. Already we have completed or we have recorded one important video regarding most important 15 question tags. Please check it. You will get clear idea regarding these particular question tags. Okay. So next coming to how is normal question tag. No need to worry regarding this. We need to give information, right? So next coming to some keywords. First thing is role. What is the role of Sendai framework for disaster risk reduction, right? So role is first important keyword here. Next coming to second part here, India progressed. How has India progressed in achieving framework's targets? Also progress is second important thing, right? In between or after completing this, we need to provide some challenges here, right? As a third keyword. And also next needed measures also before concluding, we need to measure some or give some measures, right? So next coming to brainstorming, within 1 minute we need to recall our important aspects regarding our topic, right? Here important keywords, I have just included some important keywords here. So HIGO framework for action 2005 to 15 is earlier framework. This is earlier to Sendai framework, very important. We need to mention in the background part of Sendai framework, right? So next coming to Disaster Management Act 2005, also very important. We need to include these type of acts or policies or etc. Right? So this one is Disaster Management Amendment Bill recently included or recently passed in the Lok Sabha, right? 2024, very important recent current affairs, right? So next coming to National Disaster Management Authority, and also we have National Disaster Response Force also, right? Very important, these two. And next, National Disaster Management Plan also we have 2016, right? We need to include that. Other than that, we have National Disaster Risk Financing and Insurance Fund also is there. Very important. We need to give. So these type of important keywords need to be included here and there in our particular answer, right? IMD, Indian Meteorological Department also very important in the part of early warning systems, right? So next coming to schemes, we have PMAY and Amrut, etc. schemes are needed to include here, very important regarding our disaster management strategies, right? So all these important 7 or 10, almost 10 important keywords are there. We need to include in our answer. Next coming to our introduction part here, we need to start with CA introduction, current affairs introduction, plus we need to add a static background, right? Recent current affairs related to disaster management. What are the important recent measures? Recent disaster in Himachal Pradesh, we have seen heavy rains and landslides led to significant loss of life and infrastructure, right? We need to give these type of incidents or issues here, right? Very important recent issues, right? So next coming to brief overview of the Sendai framework. Here we need to give some important information. So regarding Sendai framework for disaster risk reduction, right? So adopted in 2015. What is the target? 2015 to 30, right? It plays a crucial role in guiding India's approach to disaster risk reduction also, right? Within a focus on reducing disaster risk and enhancing resilience It particularly Sendai framework has influenced all the important countries, right, in entire world, not only India. Right, we need to give some brief background, and also here we can include this earlier framework what we have, Hyogo framework for action 2005 to 15. Right, this is enough. No need to go detailed depths. Okay. Next, coming to our body part, role of the Sendai framework in shaping India's policies. That is, we are addressing first important keyword mentioned in the question. Right. So, what is the particular role played by Sendai framework here? Guidance for comprehensive DRR. What is DRR? Disaster Risk Reduction Strategies. Right. So here we can include our India's National Disaster Management Plan 2016. By following these Sendai frameworks guidelines, India has initiated this particular plan, right? Which was the first of its kind to align with the Sendai framework, focusing mainly on disaster risk prevention and reduction, right? Very, very important. So next, coming to focus on building resilience also, we have adopted by following Sendai framework, right? So the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, we can take these type of schemes here. PMAY emphasizes constructing disaster resilient housing, particularly in disaster prone areas, right? We are connecting schemes also here. Next, coming to promotion of risk informed development here. Sendai framework promoting integration of disaster risk response into development planning, right? India has also, for example, we can take here Amrut, very, very important scheme, Amrut scheme, Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation. Amrut scheme, which includes disaster risk consideration in urban infrastructure development, is very much important here. Next, institutional strengthening and governance also here. So already we have National Disaster Response Force, and we have also State Disaster Response Force and District Disaster Response Force also. But here we are talking about only disaster response strategies in the context of national point of view, right? So no need to add those keywords. If we add, no problem, right? So National Disaster Response Force is very important, and also we have revision of Disaster Management Acts, right? Disaster Management Acts 2005 we need to include, and also amendments, right? So next, coming to enhanced early warning systems here. Indian Meteorological Department has significantly improved its cyclone and flood warning systems, right, including reducing disaster mortality rates, especially. Recently we have seen cyclones, right, Remal, or earlier we have seen Biparjoy, etc., right? So IMD has played significant role here. Next, coming to our India's progress keyword, right? Next keyword is India's progress. India's progress in achieving the framework's targets here. Reduction in disaster mortality rate, very important here. So according to Ministry of Home Affairs, India has seen a decline in cyclone related deaths from thousands in the 90s to single digits. Very important. Here we are taking Ministry of Home Affairs data, right? Thanks to improved preparedness and early warning systems from we have some particular IMD like institutions, right? Next, the minimization of economic losses also here very important. For example, we have National Disaster Risk Financing and Insurance Fund, right? We have these type of fund also aims to provide financial protection against disasters, right? Government's efforts to improve infrastructure resilience have helped reduce economic losses here, right? Next, increased implementation of DRR strategies, disaster risk reduction strategies, to improve or increase implementation level. Here, as of 2022, we have 28 states and also UTs have formulated state disaster management plans aligned with our Sendai framework. Very, very important this point. Increase implementation of DRR strategies. Each and every state, almost 28 states plus UTs, right? Very, very important as of 2022. Next, coming to challenges, here we are adding these two important keywords. What are those challenges and also needed measures, right? We need to give some problems and we need to provide some solutions to the problems also. Inadequate resources at the local level is very important challenge here. Local governments often lack the financial and technical resources, right? So this gap hindering the effective translation of national policy into local action, right? Next, coming to data deficiency and risk mapping here. So lack of accurate and comprehensive data on disaster risks, that is very important here. Absence of localized data further complicates the assessment of vulnerabilities and the development of targeted DRR strategies, right? We have some lacunas here. Next, climate change and increasing disaster frequency are also very important challenge here. The increasing frequency and intensity of climate change means climate induced disasters such as we have floods, right? Floods, we have cyclones, etc., posing a significant challenge to our India's disaster risk response efforts, right? The overlapping impacts of climate change and disaster make it difficult to implement effective and long-term strategy, right? That is the challenge here. We need to provide some solutions to all these particular challenges, right? What are the needed measures here? Strengthening local capacities, especially here we have National Disaster Management Authority should focus on capacity building programs for local bodies to enhance resilience at the grassroots level, right? We have lacuna at the local level, right? We need to provide this particular body. We need to connect this particular authority here, so to provide some capacity building programs in local areas, right? Next, coming to enhancing data collection and risk assessment here. So India should invest in advanced technology like we have GIS and also remote sensing to map disaster prone areas accurately, right? Here we are taking data driven approach, right? Data driven approach is very important. It will enable better planning and risk informed decision making, thereby reducing these type of vulnerabilities, right? Integrating climate change and adaptation with DRR, India should develop policies that address the nexus between climate change and disaster risk, ensuring that DRR strategies are climate sensitive and adaptive, right? So integrating climate change adaptation with our disaster risk reduction is very important. This integration will help mitigating our compounded impacts of climate change on disaster risks. Very, very important, right? Next, coming to our conclusion part here, we need to give some 1 to 1.5 line, futuristic line here. India can further, if we follow above needed measures, India can further it progress towards achieving the Sendai framework's targets, ensuring a safer and more resilient future for its citizens, right? So otherwise we can indicate or we can connect SDG goals also here, sustainable development or sustainable development environment in the particular connection of disaster management, right? Very, very important. So this is the perfect approach to the each and every keywords mentioned in the question, right? So next, coming to our answer written by Harshavardhan here. In 2023, India hoisted particular partnership of G20 and established a working group to assist member countries to achieve targets of Sendai framework by 2030. Sendai framework for disaster risk adopted in third United Nations framework in 2015 in Sendai, Japan. Very good current affairs introduction, right? So very good. So here he just included the G20 summit here. Next, Sendai framework is non-binding agreement in which member countries including India achieve targets on vulnerability basis. Here included some little static background also. Very good. So next, coming to our 7 targets of Sendai framework. What were there or what are there some guidelines we need to provide, right? So here, to decrease infrastructure loss by 2030, to decrease disaster mortality by 2030, all are 2030 only, right? That is, the timeline is 2015 to 30, right? So to decrease economic loss, reduce profit, right? Non-profit affected by, very important, number of people affected. Next, to increase DRR local strategies, very important. So international collaborations also we need to increase by 2030, right? Very important. These 7 targets, very good value addition here, simply included by adding some flowchart, right? Next, role of Sendai framework for disaster risk reduction, right? So here to promote collection, analysis, management, and we have data for disaster risk education. Next, to develop international collaboration, technology transfer also very important here. Next, coming to promote capacity building also, to evaluate disaster losses in country especially, right? To develop global and regional campaigns also, right? Already disaster prevention or resilience or citizen responsibility. India's progress in achieving Sendai framework targets is second important keyword here. He has included some points here with the examples. Prime Minister's 10-point agenda to prevent disaster reduction. India to develop disaster resilient methods in infrastructure projects, especially very good. Next, coming to Sendai framework or goals here, India developed a set of goals and promoted states to implement, right? India allotted $1 million US dollars to particular UN ISDR towards effective implementation of goals, very good. India to provide economic assistance towards disasters also, multinational companies especially. International collaboration to assist in disasters, very much important. In 2015 also Nepal earthquake, or India supported this particular instance, right? Establishment of National Disaster Response Force here. India established a National Disaster Response Reserve also with resolving fund of 250 crores. Right. Finally, India also hoisted SARP Disaster Management Center also, very important, very good. So international point of view. Disaster management involves holistic approach along with sustainable development goals, policies and practices. Very good and fine conclusion. But here we need to provide some challenges and needed measures. Right. With small paragraph is enough. Right. We can reduce here and there some important points here. So, but no need to reduce, but overall not lengthy answer this much. We can include one paragraph here, including our challenges part. Whatever we have challenges plus needed measures, we can include in one paragraph, right? So no need to worry here. So from among all the points here, some missed important points in the background part we can include HOIGO framework, right? Other than that, we have this fund, National Infrastructure or National Disaster Management Financial Insurance Fund, right? Very important, that one, right? Other than that, we have some schemes also, PMAY and Amrut, right? Regarding this particular link, disaster risk response, right? So very important. So all those schemes are very important. Other than that, the recent measures, we have initiated a bill, proposed a bill including some sections, amendments to some sections of DMA 2005. Very important, right? All these need to be included here and there. Okay. So among all, we can include 5.5 out of 10 marks here. We can give 5.5 out of 10 marks. Very good attempt. Keep it up. So next, coming to main section of day 55, question for 31st August 2024. Discuss the impact of World War II on the Indian independence movement. How did the Quit India movement of 1942 related to the broader global context? Right? This is related to our modern history, very important concept, Indian independence movement, and also as well as Quit India movement. Right? So write your answers and upload in the AKS app. Thank you very much. All the very best.